Hello everyone. This is a training video for the quick and easy landcover repair project. In this video, I am going to show you some unnecessary editing that our laborers are making during their work. These operations, these editings, is very unnecessary and it's going to slow you down a lot. Alright, so let's begin with this task. So what you see here, this is the original result. This is the system result. And this is the long driveway. It was labeled as long driveway. However, the labeler changed this to a driveway, which is very unnecessary. So this is totally acceptable result. So this is a long driveway, outside parking. That is totally fine. So in this case, we don't need to do editing for this one. Another unnecessary editing that you can see is here. So in this area, so this was labeled as pavement. The whole area was labeled as pavement. And this one was labeled as long driveway. So this is making sense. So if the shape looks very reasonable and there's no reason we need to do any editing for them. All right, but however, the labeler like this, he added a driveway at here, which is not necessary. Okay, it's all totally fine if we mark everything as pavement, and the driveway he did was not correct either, because it's not connecting to road. This needs to overlap with the sidewalk, so this is not necessary. And what's more is he changed the category of this long driveway to short driveway, which is also wrong editing. And you wasted your time on this unnecessary editing. For what? To slow you down? So be smart. All right. This is unnecessary. Some examples of this unnecessary editing. And what's more, in the original result, it's a short driveway, which is totally fine, which is good. All right, this is acceptable. It's making sense and reasonable. But he changed it to the parking. So this is not necessary to do that. All right, let's keep exploring. One more unnecessary editing in this task is this area. So this was labeled as parking in the system result. However, in the after the labeler edited, he changed it to the driveway. So I don't think this is necessary to do so. All right. So parking in this area, it totally makes sense. So we should accept system result and avoid wasting your time on such unnecessary editing. All right. These are some examples, and I will show you more. Another task with great editing time, all right, with a lot of the editing time is this one. So what we are seeing here, this is the original result, and at here, this was labeled as sidewalk. And from the image, we can know that this area is blocked by tree, so we cannot tell very clear. This is totally fine to accept the system result, except you want to fix this one to tree. But take a look for what this labeler did. Is that he changed everything to driveway and in the wrong way, right? This is not wrong. This is not correct. The final result he submitted is not right because the sidewalk needs to overlap with the driveway. But what if we change this back to sidewalk? Will this affect the system? Will this affect the final result? No, because from what we see here, this is the original result. The sidewalk is making sense. It doesn't look ugly, and we cannot tell if this is driveway or not. So it's better we don't edit it. We don't do any editing at here and keep this as driveway. This is a better result, and this could save you a lot of time when it comes to kind of cases like this. So guys, avoid editing for these ambiguous cases. Another case that I want to show you guys also could save you a lot of time on your task. So for example, here, so this was labeled as road in the system result. All right. So from this image, we can know, okay, so this is not very correct. All right. We can know that this is not road. But look at what this labeler did. This labeler, he fixed the water boundary to almost perfect, which is totally unnecessary because we don't care about the accuracy of the nature feature. That's first. Second, this is under the tree, and we don't need the features under the tree to be accurate. So the best way to add it for this one is we take this system result like this, we cut it, all right? We cut it at where we can see clear and merge the rest of them to forest. So that could save you a lot of time. So by doing like this, cut and merge this water to forest, you could save you from the trouble of fixing the boundary of the water to match on the image perfectly. That is totally unnecessary. All right, so please don't do that in your work. Let's keep looking for more error result. Let's keep looking for more unnecessary editing. So in this task, this is the original result. The system labeled this as building, this as driveway. But the labeler, and if from the image we can see, okay, so this is under the tree. We cannot tell very clear, right? This is very ambiguous. But so in this case, there's nothing to be done. To be honest with you guys, if I'm doing this task, I'm not fixing anything in this area. But this labeler merged everything to driveway, and he also, merged everything to pavement, and he also needs to get rid of this overlapped area and change it to grass or etc. That is totally unnecessary. All right. As I have said, this area is blocked by tree, so it is okay if the system label this as building. First of all, that's that. Second, this area to be a driveway, totally making sense. All right, we can see this is a paved area, and we don't know if it's pavement or driveway, but we want to save the time, and we want to follow the system result as much as possible. So that is very important that we accept the system result. Don't overthink when it comes to these ambiguous cases. Ignore that, follow the system result, and save your time. Another one at here. So this whole area was labeled as driveway by the system. This is the original result. And our labeler, he fixed it. All right, he fixed it. This grass in the middle of this driveway. That is also unnecessary. That could only slow you down because because this one also is pretty ambiguous, and this may be the leaves from the tree or something like that. So that is totally okay. We don't fix this area. All right, we're totally okay. We can accept this area. We don't need to fix that. But this one below, next to it, this fake building, that is something we want to fix. All right, that is good job on doing this. But this one in the middle, it's meaningless and only slow you down. So please ignore that. Skip this kind of work. Last one, let's take a look at this example. So this was the original result. This is pavement, and this is grass. And let's take a look at the image. Block under the shadow. Totally unnecessary to do any editing in this case. But the labeler merged this pavement into the grass. So in this case, guys, I don't think this worth to do any editing for this. Because you do this, it's meaningless. Still under the shadow, still very ambiguous. So we want to keep the result just reasonable, and we don't want to guess. We don't want to guess anything. So in this case, it's totally okay to accept system result and leave as it is. All right, to summarize about the unnecessary editing we are seeing so far, there are many unnecessary editing under the shadow when it's ambiguous. So when it's under the shadow, when you cannot tell this area if it's something where you cannot tell for sure, accept system result. Skip editing for this part. All right. So I hope this video can help most of us to improve your speed more. I hope we don't have any guys that stick on the minor things to waste your time on the ambiguous cases, and this will help you to earn more in this project. All right. Thank you guys. Goodbye.